This summer, Instacart presents famous summer flavors coming to your front door. Or pool. Or hotel.
Your grocery delivery has arrived, sir.
That was faster than room service.
No violins in the lobby.
Oh, seriously? Anyway, sit back, relax, and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Starring your favorite snacks, drinks, and more. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Rated H for hungry audiences. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours. We're a music podcast that chats to artists, musicians and creatives on their songwriting craft and upcoming projects. I'm your host Simon Fink and welcome to episode 244. Our guest today is pop singer-songwriter Carla Wehbe. The Australian muso is releasing her brand new EP, Jupiter and Mars, today. Before we get too far into our chat with Carla, please make sure you subscribe to the pod. While you're doing that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We have just released a brand new video where we've taken Moona record shopping. That video is out today. So please make sure you're subscribed across all of our socials so that you can stay up to date with new guests, new episodes, everything. Links for those can be found within the show notes of this episode. Our guest today, as mentioned before, is Carla Wehbe. She is a brilliant singer and songwriter who is today releasing her second studio EP, Jupiter and Mars. Carla has been on an incredible run lately, releasing singles like Is Forever Off the Table and Night to E5, and she's supported international heavyweights like Alec, Benjamin and Benson, Boone, which has seen her music being opened up to a whole new fan base. In today's episode, we're speaking to Carla about the EP and how some of these songs have been around since before she actually started releasing music. We talk about her creative process and how music wasn't originally her kind of intended career, but an exposure to Avril Lavigne changed that. We talk about collaboration, we talk about her supporting Benson Boone, and we discuss whether Carla will be touring behind this EP or not. I won't spoil anything. I'll let you listen to the episode to find out the answer to that. You can find all the details for Jupiter and Mars in the show notes of this episode and all of Carla's social media. And we want to say a massive thank you to Thomas from Warner Music Australia for his help with this episode. Here is our chat with Carla Wehbe. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Carla Wehbe. Hello, Carla. How are we?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It is it's an incredibly exciting day, and so we do appreciate that you're here. It is the release day for your brand new EP, Jupiter and Mars. It is out today. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It is a beautiful collection of songs. I know that it's the first EP in a little while. Firstly, how are you around release days? Are you not a nervous person, but are you someone who gets nervous with the new release of new music?
There's always like a little bit of, that the anticipation nerves, but I try to not really think about it because it's such a lead up, and it all comes down to like essentially. Well, I mean, not really, but like it feels like it comes down to that one moment where it's out and then it's like, well, I can't do it. I've done everything I can in regards to like making the EP and then it's out. So it's like, I'm kind of always doing things right up until the very last second when it's released. So I'm kind of busy. I don't really think about it too much. And then after I'm like, oh, it's out. Cool. Like, I guess I just got to keep promoting it now. So yeah, I'm not really nervous, but yeah, definitely like there's a bit of anticipation nerves.
Of course. And I think that's to be very understood. I imagine it is a bit of a weird feeling because this is something you're putting so much of yourself into for months, years even. And then at a certain point, it just becomes totally out of your hands and you kind of just have to almost just go with the flow of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for this specific EP, like the songs range from having been written 5 years ago. I started Jupiter and Mars. That's when I first started writing it. And then, Addicted to Self-Deprecation, I wrote a couple months ago, so it's like a combination of songs that have been written across, 5 years. So it does feel like, I've been working on it for not necessarily the EP for this song, but, like there's been a lot of ongoing work. And so I've just like tried as best as I can to just be completely happy with it so that I can just let it out into the world and just, be proud of it. And I really am. And it's what it's all I could have hoped for. So just very excited to share it with everyone.
Oh, and I can very much appreciate that sentiment. As I mentioned before, it is a beautiful collection of songs. It's a great EP. It might be a bit of a silly question up the top of the interview, and I know it's always such not even a difficult, but maybe even an unfair question. Is there a song in particular from the EP that I guess has a closer meaning to you or that you hope resonates with people maybe more than others?
That's actually an interesting question because it's not like what's your favorite song off the EP. It's like what you want, to resonate with people the most. I would probably say like to resonate. I feel like Night to E5 is such a emotionally powerful song for me. And it's essentially about, not looking after yourself and putting other people before yourself. And then like you being the one that has to deal with that and struggle with that. And so I think most people have experienced that at some point in their lives where they, kind of sacrifice their own makes happiness or something similar for someone else that they care for. So I think maybe, to resonate with people, that one, I would say.
I loved that song. That is the current single that is out now. It does also involve, for those fans who are literary fans, it does involve a Harry Potter reference.
It does. It actually, with that one, I actually made a little mistake. So I love Harry Potter, but I made a mistake in which scene I was referencing. There is still a scene where they say Knight to E5, so it's not entirely incorrect. But the final scene, the wizard chess scene, that is Knight to H3, I'm pretty sure. So that's what I was referencing, but I just got the wrong, place on the chessboard. But I mean, it's still the same concept, so it's fine.
Still the same concept, and as you said, they still say it in the movie. So I feel like the reference is still valid.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there, and this might be a silly question, was the title of the song or did that stem from, I guess, was the song itself inspired by Harry Potter, or was that just kind of a coincidental thing?
I was just trying to think of, like in the session, I was just trying to think of kind of abstract concepts or something that I haven't done before. And it kind of just jumped into my head, Knight to E5. And then I didn't initially know what that could mean. And then I thought about it and I thought about how, Ron sacrifices his knight so that Harry can go forward and win. And it's like kind of, he sacrificed himself for Harry essentially. And then I made that make sense with experiences in my life. And even though I don't say Knight to E5 in the song, I just felt like it kind of encompassed the meaning of the song the best. So, that's kind of how that happened.
I do love that. And I look forward to maybe combing over this EP again and looking at any further releases from yourself to maybe see if there's any hidden movie Easter eggs or gems that... I would love to kind of discuss your songwriting in general, Carla, in terms of firstly, the introduction that you had to songwriting. I know that I believe you were more of a sporting person before you were into music, and then that kind of changed. I think Avril Lavigne had some kind of input in that change?
So I grew up. Well, actually, I played violin from when I was 3 years old to when I was 13, and I hated it for the whole 10 years that I played. But I had no interest in music growing up, really, until kind of high school. Towards the end of mid to end of high school, my brother started singing, and then eventually I tried. I was very against the idea at first. My parents were like encouraging me to try it. And because I was so into sport, like I wanted to play professionally, I got offered to go play in, America for a college team at one point. So I was very set on, doing sport. And then I tried singing. Like I went to a couple of lessons and I just really loved it. And I haven't really looked back since. I still play sport, but that's a hobby for me now.
I can appreciate that. Do you remember what those first songs in the singing lesson were?
I don't. I remember the lesson very. I don't think we sang a song in the first lesson. I think we did just like breathing exercises and just like she was just trying to suss out if I had any sort of talent. But I remember I remember the song I sang for the first like end of term, I guess, little concert that they put on. It was I Will Be by Avril Lavigne. So she has always had like a massive influence and where I am today.
Look, I love that. And we've actually earlier this week, once this episode comes out, we're speaking to Heather from Pale Waves, the UK band, and discussing the impact of the Queen Avril and how she's continuing to influence songwriters even 20 years later.
I know, it's insane. It's so cool.
Do you remember first songwriting yourself in terms of like sitting down and writing lyrics and trying to write a melody and how that kind of came to be?
Yes, I still remember the first song I wrote. It's very bad. But I as soon as I started singing, I taught myself guitar. So I have always had that, and then piano. So I've always had, like an instrument to help me when I write. But it was a terrible song. The chords were A minor, F, C, G, as you do, the most chords. So I think I still have the paper that I wrote that on, actually. It's somewhere. I have piles of, notebooks and everything else. So, I still remember that very vividly.
I feel like for any songwriter, whether novice, beginner or pro, I feel like what you just kind of mentioned, everyone at some point has tried to work the A minor, F, G kind of chord structure into a sad heartbreak lament, if you will. Yeah. The songs from this EP, when you start writing, because I know that the previous EP was released in 2020, is it a thing of that these songs have been around before that, or that they kind of came afterwards and they've just been building in the background since? Or how do you determine what not is applicable? What's the right word I'm looking for? Yes, in terms of the track listing, what kind of makes sense and is cohesive?
Well, I guess this EP in general is fairly different to the first one that I put out, just like sonically. First one was a bit more.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions, and the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
80s inspired, like the synth pop kind of thing going on. And then as like my sound developed, and like I always felt like I was never the greatest lyricist, so that was something that I felt I needed to work on. And as I slowly got better with that, I got to explore the areas of music that I've always wanted to explore. And so as I started doing that, like I feel like a new sound that isn't like worlds apart from the other one, but it kind of became its own thing, and it became apparent to me that this is the kind of music I love making, which is a little more influenced by, even like the 70s or, some 60s elements, but less of that synth pop world. And yeah, so I guess it kind of, once I became comfortable in that world of creating music, they kind of, there were a few songs that landed in the same, I guess, vicinity of each other, and they felt right. But also I had Jupiter and Mars from, like I said, 2018, 2 years before I put out, my first song. So that just felt like it was, a part of that. It felt like it matched the rest of the EP. So that's why that one made the cut.
I do love that song. It is a gorgeous song. Do you remember what originally inspired it?
Oh, the chords. I randomly played the chords accidentally, and then I love space, so I was just like, oh, it'd be cool to write a song, that's like about love and space and putting the two together. So that's where that came from. I remember I was in LA in my friend's house when I came up with like the chords and just started singing. I actually listened to the original melody, like the voice note, the very first voice note that I had, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe how far that song has come. Like it's wild. But yeah.
I love that. Do you, are you a big collaborator? Do you like songwriting with others?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. I love songwriting for other people. And then I love collaborating with people that I'm close with, my own stuff. A lot of the times I'll write something by myself, produce up a little idea even, and then take it to the people I work with. And then we build on it from there. But then other times, we'll start something from scratch, and it's usually the songs that turn out the best are people that I'm just comfortable with, or like my best. A lot of my songs are written with my best friends, so it's really nice to have that.
I love that. I imagine that there is, I want to say like a sense of trust almost when you can have that relationship with someone where you feel comfortable enough to write for them and they know that you're going to do right by them as well, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's like, it's a very, like, you have to switch, because when I'm the songwriter, like a co-writer, it's not about me. It's not about, I can draw from my experiences to help tell their story, but I always have to remember, like, it's their story that they're telling. And I have to try and get into, their type of melodies for their music. And like, it's just like adjusting your brain. And then when it's for me, it's just like, I have as much freedom as I want, really. But I enjoy both. I enjoy both very much so. Is there a track that you've written by someone else that you are most proud of, or that you're kind of, that you, I guess that you love that you were able to hand over or pass on to them?
Yeah, Vera Blue's song Temper is probably my favorite co-write that I've written. I love the song, and she's great. I've known her for many years, so it's really nice to finally write with her. So I'd probably say that one.
That's awesome. I know that there are a lot of people excited about this EP coming out, as I mentioned before. I'm curious because now that things are kind of semi back to normal outside of the pandemic, will we get an opportunity to see you touring behind Jupiter and Mars and kind of playing some live shows around the country? Yeah,
definitely. Like, I don't have anything set in stone yet, but we're currently looking into all of that. I can't wait. Like, that's one of my favorite parts, the live performing. And I have done a couple of support shows in the lot and have just gained a whole new kind of fan base, I guess. And I haven't had my own show since they've, started supporting me. So I'm just really excited to be able to play for all, like the new fans and play the new songs that I've never played before. So it's really cool.
100%. It's as you've just mentioned, I know that you recently supported I've got it in my brain somewhere. Benson
Alec.
Boone,
Benson Boone as well. Yep.
Who we've had on this very podcast, and I think Alec Benjamin, lovely gentleman. What were those experiences like? Because as you said, that is a whole kind of new fan base that is now embracing yourself as well.
Yeah, and they were very interesting because they were both acoustic shows that I did, and I usually do like with my full band. But yeah, so all the Alec ones specifically were solo acoustic, and I have never played for myself, like purely like a full set by myself. I play guitar in my set, but I've never, carried the whole thing by myself. So it was actually a really good, like learning experience as well. I just had to throw myself in the deep end. And yeah, it was really good because I've now, got some of my best supporters from those shows, who are like super dedicated. And yeah, so I'm really excited to play my own show for those people.
Of course. Is there, in terms of other than just a full band, I know that they're yet to be booked in. We're not going to push for details that aren't available yet.
Yeah.
But what can fans expect from a fuller band show, I guess? Yeah.
I mean, well, first of all, a longer set list because of the support shows. I have to do like a shortened, set.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't want it to just be a show. Like I want to create, like the atmosphere, like whether it's visuals or, just something else that kind of creates a little bit of a unique experience. I'm always throwing that around. So like, don't know what's going to happen, but there'll be something cool.
No, look, I'm sure that these shows will be incredible. When they do happen, we will make sure that we are promoting them on the podcast when they are announced. Is there anything that you particularly, other than the shows themselves, look forward to when on tour? Is there anything? We've recently kind of been having this debate of people who love playing shows but aren't fans of the driving, the truck stop sausage rolls, the whatever it may be. Is there anything that you do love about touring or do not love it?
I mean, I love the shows part. That's basically all. I have a lot of allergies, so I struggle to eat in most places. So when I'm like away and, I don't really know what's going to be available to me, like that gives me a little bit of stress. So I don't like that aspect of it. So I'm usually always bringing stuff with me so that I know I have something to eat. So yeah, I'm someone who's precious about where I sleep. I do get panic attacks sometimes, so that's not fun. And it's usually when I'm traveling. But yeah, I just love performing so much. So it's fine. It's worth it.
I very much respect the dedication because there is an element, and especially post-pandemic, I imagine that there's more anxiety around musicians and performers in general. So I can there's a lot of respect from myself to you right now, Carla, on the fact of pushing through. Usually we would ask our guests what they're currently listening to. Is there anything at the moment that is on high rotation for yourself?
I don't listen to that much music, if I'm being completely honest. But I haven't listened to music in a couple of days, actually. But the last thing I was listening to was, I have like my car that I drive is a very old car and it has like a CD player in it. And I found all my old CDs and I found Avril Lavigne's first 2 albums. So I've been listening to those.
Brilliant choices. What is it? Let Go and I'm going to have a mental blank on the second one.
Blanked. I know these. The one with Nobody's Home on it.
Don't Tell Me, My Happy Ending.
Yeah, Don't Tell Me. Yeah. That album. Great.
In My Skin. thank you very much to the very kind third person on this call for that assistance. Carla, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Under My Skin. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. I do very much appreciate it. Congratulations on the new EP, Jupiter and Mars, which is out today. We'll make sure we put it in all the show notes for the podcast, but thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. And thanks for your support.